Saludos de Austin. Me llamo Lawrence T. Jones III. My friends call me Larry. I've been collecting antique photography of Texas and northern Mexico for about 40 years. The photographs from Mexico are always the most difficult to find. When I found this group of photographs in your exhibition, I had no idea where they were taken. But they came with a group of Texas photographs, and I assumed they were all by the same photographer, Alexis V. Latourette. With the help of my friend Tom Kelborn, he was able to identify some of the locations in Mexico. And then he made me aware of his friend Javier Villarreal Lozano and the Centro Cultural Vito Alessio Robles in Saltillo. After some discussions with Javier and Tom, it became obvious to me that the best home for these stereo views would be back in Mexico where they were made. Collectors are just temporary custodians of the objects we find. It's always nice to find a permanent and appropriate home for them, and I think I have. I offer my sincere apologies for not being able to join you tonight, but I wish you much success with this exhibition, and I hope that it promotes and stimulates growth and interest in antique photography in Coahuila. Thank you for allowing me to be a small part of this. Muchísimas gracias y buenas noches.
Hola, yo soy Tom Kelborn. Saludos desde Wellsville, Nueva York, a mis amigos en Saltillo. I love Mexico, and for many years I have had a deep interest in the history and early photography of the nation. 3 decades ago, I was involved in research on the famous daguerreotypes made in Saltillo during the war between our two nations, and I have written several texts on early photographers in Mexico. Thus, I was very intrigued when, 4 years ago, my friend Larry Jones told me about a certain collection of stereographs in his possession. He said that he was certain that they were made in Mexico, but he did not know the dates or the specific places. Larry occasionally promised to send me copies of the photos. He thought that I might be able to help him to understand their locations. And then, one afternoon in November 2014, I began receiving from Larry a series of emails. Each one of them contained a copy of a stereograph. In total, there were 18 images. After I received all of them, it was clear to me that they were taken in Mexico. I focused on one specific view, of a hill with a building on top of it. I remembered that there was such a place in Parras de la Fuente, and within moments I had found a recent photo of the exact site, La Capilla del Santo Madero. On that same afternoon, within the span of 1 hour, I ascertained that the stereographs included views of La Parroquia de Santiago Apostol in Monclova, El Templo de San Ignacio Loyola in Parras, and several views of a water reservoir in Parras. It was with great excitement and satisfaction that I shared my discoveries with Larry, and of course with my great friends Javier Villarreal Lozano and Conchita Recio Davila. When one is researching antique photographs with no identifications or inscriptions, and one begins discovering the long-lost facts about the photographs, it becomes a magical process of discovery that is a very pleasing and amazing thing. There is an element of wonder and mystery in the process, somewhat like searching for gold and discovering it. Researching these stereographs has been such a process for me. In the days and weeks after my first introduction to these stereographs, I was able to identify more locations, specifically the several views of Cuatro Ciénegas. Using tools such as reference books, the internet, and satellite imagery, it is possible to research the topography and architectural structures of faraway places from the comfort of one's home. But nothing can replace actual on-site investigation when researching the locations and history of historical photographs. Although much has been done to identify these images, they invite and await further investigation. I take great pleasure in having had a role in the research and development of the exhibition you are enjoying today. I wish to thank and congratulate Larry Jones for his keen eye as a collector in acquiring these images and for his foresight and great generosity in donating the images to Secuvar. With the return of these historically important images to Saltillo, they have finally arrived home after 140 years, where they will be available for many people to study and enjoy. I also wish to express my profound appreciation for my friends Javier and Conchita for recognizing the importance of these images and for their hard work and vision in organizing this exhibition and its catalog. And we must thank the staff of Secuvar. This is truly an amazing institution. Finally, I wish to thank Ariel Gutierrez for his valuable contributions, particularly for sharing a newspaper notice concerning the work of the photographers Maximilian Jesse and Alexis Latourette. It was this newspaper notice that removed all doubt that the images you are seeing in the exhibition were the work of those two traveling artists. Historical photographs are a fragile thing. So many have been lost over the decades, and others have been forgotten or disrespected. It is a minor miracle that these stereographs have survived, and it is a triumph that they have come full circle and will now take their place among the great historical images of Coahuila and Mexico. Take time to contemplate these rare photographs. Permit them to whisper to you across the centuries about the brilliant things of the past. Enjoy them now. Adios.